allow me to speak out my mother language. مخرج وكاتب روائي ومنتج للفيلم، وسعيد جدا بانه يبقى اول نشر ليه في العالم يبقى من هنا من نيويورك.
He's the writer, director, filmmaker of the film, and he's very happy that it's the first world premiere that you are witnessing of the film right here, right now.
I'm Myriam Zaki. I feature in the film. It's my voice that you've heard. I'm very honored to be here in New York. Thank you, Nora, for giving the opportunity to socially relevant films to be screened worldwide. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to be with you. We would have stayed locally. So this is really a privilege and an honor to be in New York and to be with Nora and everybody.
Thank you. We're happy that you chose to do the world premiere here. It means a lot to us.
And we are honored that each and every one of you came to see our film, an Egyptian film on the Armenian Genocide. We were not sure how it would be received. So having a full house is really an honor. So I thank each and every one of you. Thank you.
I think I put too many chairs. Yes. All right, so I'm going to introduce Louis Proyect, who is film critic, and he has been following us from year one, and maybe he wants to say a couple of words about the film and what it had, the impression. He gave a fantastic rave to the film and to the other one, the 100 Years Later that you saw earlier.
Well, all I could say is it's an outstanding film, not just because it's, as far as I know, it's the definitive documentary on the Armenian Genocide, but it's also, I think it'd be seen generally as a call for human rights and justice in an area of the world that's deeply troubled today. And if you could extrapolate the tragedy that occurred to the Armenian people, and that is in different forms taking place in the Middle East and North Africa today, this film is really, it's like a torch being held up to in the darkness, and I think it's the fact that Arabs have made this film shows that they're really this couple, this very fine filmmaking couple, are really in the vanguard of human rights. That's all I have to say.
It's very important because what Louis is saying about the fact that a first Arab country, it's coming out of a country. And although we have promoted the film as one of the Armenian films, but in reality, it's an Egyptian film made by Egyptian filmmakers, and we are very proud. And I, as an Egyptian-born person, I am particularly proud today that this film has been brought to us.
Thank you.
So maybe I will ask the first question. How did you come across this idea? What made you decide to make a film about the Armenian Genocide?
في البداية كان الاهتمام بقضية الأرمن وقضية الجينوسايد تحديدا. احنا كان عندنا برنامج على الهواء، برنامج تلفزيوني، وابتدينا نتصل بمجموعة من المسؤولين ومهتمين في الجالية المصرية الأرمنية. بالنسبة لي أنا كان صدمة شديدة جدا أن يكون هذا الجزء من التاريخ لم يقرأ ولم يطرح لا على الوجدان العربي ولا على الفكر العربي بالشكل اللي يستحق.
At first it came because he was in a program, a television program, and they were making television programs about different subjects, and they reached out to the Armenian community and wanted to do a topic about the Armenian Genocide, and they were very happy about the approach and the help that the Armenian community gave.
No, actually, we were very shocked by the
They
details.
oh
that
yes,
we got.
I'm coming to that.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. But also they were very shocked about the fact that a lot of people didn't know about it, that it was hidden, that it was not really publicized.
تزامن ده في الوقت ده مع الدعوات التي كانت موجودة في الوطن العربي والشرق الأوسط بمحاولة إعادة السلطنة العثمانية، وأن يتوج رئيس دولة تركيا سلطانا على المسلمين، وكان بدعوات من داخل بعض الجماعات الدينية الإسلامية داخل مصر.
inside of Egypt, some of the Muslim and Islamic organizations were promoting the fact that they want to re-establish and the Ottoman Empire and establish Erdogan, I guess in this case, a caliphate.
And Erdogan would be
the head of the new caliph, and would, you know, go back to the old days. And oh my God, it's really crazy. And so that's basically what triggered.
وتزامن نفس الموضوع في ما حدث في دير الزور في سوريا سنة 2015 سوري 2015 و2014 من حصار الراهبات وتدمير دير الزور وتهجير وقتل الأرمن والأقباط داخل سوريا.
At the same time, in 2014 and 15, all that was happening in Deir Zor in Syria and the nuns that were killed, I mean the churches that were being burned and demolished and all that. So the parallels were obvious, so that also triggered part of the story.
نفس الدعوة كانت موجودة في من الجماعات التي تحتمي بالإسلام وتحتمي بالدين في سوريا وفي مصر وفي الدول العربية بأن هذه الدول للمسلمين فقط، وابتدأ اضطهاد وطرد ومطاردة الأقباط بكافة انتماءاتهم وفئاتهم.
At the same time, there was strong persecution of all the Christians of the Middle East, because the call was towards the establishment of an Islamic state that is only for Muslims, and that was part of the parallel of what was going on at the same time that they were having the idea about this film.
التاريخ لا يكذب، وبإعادة قراءة 100 سنة من التاريخ اكتشفنا إنه ما حدث من سيناريو في إبادة وتهجير الأرمن قابل للحدوث وإعادة الإنتاج مرة أخرى في عصرنا الحالي، كما حدث ما قبل كده في بداية دخول الدولة العثمانية مصر ومنطقة الشرق الأوسط والعرب.
And history never lies, so when they investigated historical facts, they realized that there were incredible parallels between what was happening right now in Syria, in Deir Zor, against the Christian minorities, and specifically against the Armenians, was exactly what was happening 100 years ago in the Ottoman Empire.
حاولنا نقول في الفيلم إنه الجريمة إن كانت حدثت من 100 سنة فاتت وكانت ضحاياها 1.5 مليون شخص. المشاهد اللي على الشاشة هي مشاهد حية لبشر زينا بالظبط، وهؤلاء البشر الجريمة الأكبر في حقهم أن تظل هذه الجريمة مسكوت عنها 100 سنة من التاريخ، وحتى الآن يرفض البعض الاعتراف بها.
The images that you saw on the screen are real images, and these are people and human beings just like ourselves. And the biggest crime is not only the fact that this crime happened, but also the fact that until now it remains a denied crime.
الفيلم قد يكون يعني ما رضيناش نلجأ إلى ريميكينج أو إعادة التمثيل، كان كل الهم إن إحنا نقدم الحدث والوثيقة والتاريخ. واعذرونا إن كان في بعض الأخطاء بالنسبة للترجمة قد تكون شتتت الانتباه شوية، ولكن ده كان لضيق الوقت في النسخة التي قدمت المرة دي.
And he says, excuse us for some of the translation issues, but it was done in quite a rush because we wanted to do this premiere, I guess. We are the...
You rushed
yes.
me, Nora.
I rushed. You know. I take the blame.
No.
بشكر كل اللي حضر، وده تقدير لينا وشرف لينا كبير قوي، ممتنين ليه جدا، وبشكر إدارة المهرجان اللي أتاحت الفرصة دي إن احنا نكون ما بينكم بنقدم هذا العمل على الأقل إنه يصل إلى بعض من لم يعرف، وأنا أعلم إن أغلب الحاضرين يعلموا هذه القضية، ولكن قد تكون هذه وثيقة تنقل إلى الأجيال التالية والأجيال التي لم تعلم عنها شيء بعد. شكرا لكم.
He would like to thank everyone who's present and witnessed this world premiere, and also the festival for making this opportunity a possibility, and makes a wish that this would remain a document as a testimony of what happened, to educate, to enlighten, to put the spotlight on a crime that up till now still remains denied. So, Myriam?
I was honored.
Thank you.
I had the honor to be part of this documentary research and to follow every step. It made me introspect on the world that we live in today. And this is very important because when you look at the Armenian people and how they are beheaded, you look at ISIS today and they're doing exactly the same. I was shocked to see the same images happen 100 years ago. And you look at things and you say, what is fundamentalism? Fundamentalism is radical thinking, radical ideology that uses religion to have political gains. And once you move into that radical ideology, you automatically dwindle as a human being. It's the fall down. There is no, you look at history, you look at the Andalusia, you look at the Spain. Spain was radiant when Spain was embracing to all religions and all cultures and all, this is what makes human beings thrive. To be open, to have equal rights, to accept each other's differences. This is what we are as Egyptians in essence. And this is what radical thinking has done to our region recently. And this is what we fight against with this movie. We're trying to tell people that all this radical extreme right ideology will end up with ISIS. But you support a secular ideology with equal rights to everyone, be them Christian, be them Jews, be them Palestinian, be them Kurds, be them Armenian, whoever it is, we are human beings with equal respect and equal rights. And no one, because of religion or because of political aspirations, should ever, ever crush another human being. Because we're talking about people with hearts and with children and with lives to live. And I must add that we in Egypt, when after 2011, we saw the worst of that ideology come into being. After 2011, we had a parliament that was dominated by the Muslim Brotherhood. And the Muslim Brotherhood, they wanted to change the laws concerning women, concerning marriage. They wanted children to marry at the age of 12, girls. They wanted to change the laws of custody for women. They wanted to change our culture and our society. And they had been working
to let people ask questions too.
No, I just want to finish this. No, I need to finish this, Nora. I really need to finish this, Nora, because this is important. Because it explains why Egyptians rose up in the 30th of June wanting equal rights for everyone, because during that parliament and during that presidency, it was the first time that we started seeing the Shia of Egypt being dragged along the streets. It was the epitome of burning churches in Egypt. It was hate crimes also that had been, being brushed under the carpet.
Yeah,
all these
and
things
it's very
were
interesting
important.
that you're bringing those points, because the 10 o'clock film, which is our other Egyptian film, is exactly that. It's called Before the Spring, and it depicts the exact points that you are making about the revolution and what happened, and how 5 years later we are back to where we were, or even worse than where we were.
That's a point of view, Nora, because really this is very important, and I respect, of course, the other filmmakers' point of view. But for a lot of Egyptians, 13th of June was a choice. It was a choice of not using religion for the sake of politics or political gain. It was a choice of not having our daughters being married at the age of 12. It was a choice of equal rights between Muslims and Christians, and it was a choice of identity, really. Whether some people think that after 30th of June we are worse off, no, I think that because 30th of June we no longer have burning of churches, because of 30th of June we can walk safely in the streets, and because of 30th of June women can marry at the age of 18, not 12. And that is a choice. That was the choice of the Egyptians. Whether there is another dimension to the issue, that's a point of view too. I do not deny it, but I do not necessarily embrace it.
We really need to allow the audience to ask questions, because we have another show coming in, and we might also want to hear Louis and see what he has to say. He's already reviewed the films, but maybe he wants to add something. But we're really, really sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I love what you're saying. It's very interesting, but we have a show coming in, and then another show after that. So does anybody want to ask a question to the filmmakers or to Louis, who has already reviewed the films? Yes.
Where did you get access to the Turkish documents that were signed by Talat?
The question is, where did you get access to the Turkish documents that were signed by Talat Pasha?
بالنسبة للوثائق الخاصة بطلعت باشا، الوثائق الأصلية محفوظ جزء كبير جدا منها في متحف الإبادة بأرمينيا، وجزء كبير في متحف في الأرشيف القومي الأرمني. ما قدرناش نقدر نصل إلى الأرشيف التركي لأنه مقفول عكس ما قيل في الفيلم.
A big number of these documents are preserved in the Genocide Museum in Armenia and the National Museum in Armenia. They were unable to get to the Turkish archives for obvious reasons.
بالإضافة إلى الوثائق اللي احنا عرضنا جزء كبير منها من السفارات الأمريكية والإنجليزية والألمانية المفرج عنها بعد مرور المدة القانونية.
After a certain while, where legal period passes, then it might be possible to access them.
May I ask that the papers of Talat Pasha are published, so anyone can have access and read them, really, and you'll find all this information in the papers of Talat Pasha.
Another question? Yes?
What are the prospects for distributing the film in Turkey and countering Erdogan's propaganda campaign to rewrite history and perhaps also whitewash the actions against the Kurds?
What are the possibilities of distributing the film in Turkey?
أنا مهم جدا إن أنا أقول إحنا عملنا الفيلم ده ليه إضافة اللي أنا قلته قبل كده. الفيلم الغرض منه أن تنتهي هذه الأزمة وليس الانتقام. الغرض منه ليس الشحن ضد الأتراك أو الشعب التركي الحالي، لأنه نحن نؤمن بأن الأحفاد لا يرثوا جرائم الأجداد. فهذا الغرض الأساسي من الفيلم، إن إحنا نبتدي نعترف بوجود مذبحة حدثت من 100 سنة، ونبتدي فترة جديدة أو شكل جديد من العلاقة ما بين أرمينيا وتركيا. لكن توزيع الفيلم داخل تركيا أعتقد إنه غير متاح.
The distribution of the film inside Turkey at the moment is not an option. However, the purpose of the film is not to incriminate the people who are there now, because the current generation should not be blamed for things that their ancestors, the crimes that their ancestors committed. However, this is a document that needs to enlighten.
May I add something?
Of course.
It's true that we should not hold accountable your grandson for your grandfather's deeds, but at least recognize, at least admit that there was a crime committed. It's exactly, it's exactly, it's as if you have a daughter and you're a woman and your daughter comes and says, "Mommy, you've done this to me," you know. And if you don't empathize with her feelings, if you don't validate her feelings, how can you move forward? And ultimately, the Armenians were part of the Ottoman Empire. They were citizens of the Ottoman Empire. How can you not validate what happened to move forward? I mean, it's that simple. We as human beings have to validate each other's feelings, even if we don't necessarily approve or agree, but at least put an empathy there so that we can just go ahead and move around.
Yes, one more question.
I wanted to thank the producers for this film.
Thank you.
It was more than informative. It was definitely very moving. Do you plan to distribute this film to other film festivals?
The question is, thank you first of all, but do you plan to distribute it to, take it to other film festivals?
احنا الهدف الاساسي ان احنا ننشر هذا الفيلم في منطقة الشرق الاوسط للثقافة واعادة هذا الجزء المهم في تاريخ الوطن العربي، وان يكون الوطن العربي على علم به، وهنسعى ان شاء الله ان احنا نتواجد في بعض المهرجانات الدولية الاخرى، بس كان مهم ان يبقى الانطلاقة الاولى من المهرجان مهرجان نيويورك.
It's of course they have the purpose, I mean the goal of distributing to other festivals, and mainly to festivals that are in the Middle East or countries of the Middle East, which is very important because it has the added educational value, and it was particularly important for them that it started here in New York. Maybe Louis would like to make a comment.
Well, actually,
We need another couple of hours.
yeah, no, well, I guess I recommend my blog if you're interested in
Yeah.
reading the review. It's, I hope it doesn't offend anybody. I blog as the, I don't want to offend anybody's sensibilities, but I blog as the unrepentant Marxist, okay? And if you Google that, you'll easily find the review I did of this film, which I'm proud of, and I'm proud of being associated with this film festival.
Thank you very much.
What's a blog again?
The unrepentant,
Marxist.
is there a the before?
What's that?
The unrepentant Marxist, or just unrepentant Marxist?
Unrepentant Marxist.
Unrepentant Marxist.
Okay.
All right, maybe we can take one more quick question, or I feel bad to wrap it up,
No,
but
that's
fine.
I mean, we could sit here and chat all evening, unfortunately. Thank you so much. Thank you.